Hi, I'm Matthew Hill from Brock Urban Projects. Today I'll be talking to you about our wonderful dunes development in Port Hughes. I'll be joined shortly by Greg Moulton. I look forward to seeing you then.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Open house, Fridays 12 to 12:30. And as you can see, we're joined by Matt Hill. Welcome, Matt.
Maltz, good to see you.
Very good indeed.
I'm here too, by the way.
Oh, Brocky,
yeah,
how
nice
are you,
to
mate?
see you, Matt.
Yeah, fabulous.
Bit hard to see through.
Yeah,
Matt. Brock
I'm fading away.
Brock Harcourt's Urban Projects. What's that all about? What do you actually concentrate on, Matt?
A vast array of property development consultancy and management. We work predominantly on major projects, land estates, land developments, and also apartment developments. And we consult right from the early feasibility portion of a project right through to the sales and marketing or project marketing of a whole range of probably Adelaide's best development projects that are happening.
It's quite incredible, Mott. I have a lot of interaction with Matty, and if I've got clients that want to build high-rise or subdivide a huge parcel of land, Matt's the go-to bloke, and very analytical, very smart, and terrific at his job. I've got to pay you a genuine
Very well
compliment.
done.
Very well done.
Thanks, mate. I paid him very well.
All I really know you from is you're a good guy to have a beer with afterwards as well.
Fantastic.
So it's an all-rounder, Matt. Now, I've got the first question, which I think is a little bit of a silly question, but I'm just going to run with it. What is the Dunes development, Matt?
The dunes at Port Hughes is a really unique development. It's for those who don't know, Port Hughes is over in the Yorke Peninsula in the Copper Coast, and the dunes is a combined development. When I say combined, it's got a golf course. It'll have a whole range of top quality amenities that are being constructed around that. You know, your top class boutique cafes and day spas and other facilities that people are going to want to access when they live over there or holiday. It'll have a world-class golf course, PGA quality golf course that's going to be constructed in the middle of that. A range of residential allotments, some built forms, some townhouses, and it's really a spectacular development that's now well underway.
Very good.
And why Port Hughes, Matty? I mean, it's obviously a spot with enormous potential, and in terms of the decision to actually start at Port Hughes, what were the reasons behind it, and was it on the back of the mining boom to any degree?
Well, probably the why Port Hughes component, for those who have not been up to the Yorke Peninsula or who've been living under a rock, it's a hell of a destination. It's just a fantastic place. And that region is a real popular destination for holiday makers, for retirees. And Port Hughes has got the fantastic boat ramp, which is hopefully in the near future will be receiving some refurbishment. Great fishing out there, fantastic beaches, really clean beaches, great access for families, wonderful townships that have got a lot of great amenities in them as well. And with the vast amount of land that the developer had access to in that area there, it just was the perfect spot for setting up such a world-class facility.
Yeah, my understanding is that the developers are trying to make it the Victor Harbour of the North and bringing all the infrastructure there. And Greg Norman, obviously a household name, and he's now Greg Moulton's best mate. I mean, when Lance Armstrong came here, the Premier, he was called Randy, I think. And I'm just wondering whether Greg called you Maltz all the way through the interview,
Maltz,
mate.
Yeah, no.
He's slightly better golfer than you, but apart from that, what is his involvement in the project, and at what level is it at, the golf course?
I guess, as people would imagine, he has a contractual agreement with the developer, but it goes far beyond that, and you would have seen in the interview that Maltz had with him, that he takes a real personal pride in every single aspect of any development that he's involved with. So it's right through from the design and development of the golf course, making sure that every facet related to that and the residential component surrounding it is done to a world-class level.
He actually said in the interview that it's his reputation. So he takes his reputation seriously. He's got a line of clothing and wines and a whole lot of other things. So he can't afford to put his name to something and then not be involved and not make sure it works really well.
Yeah, I was amazed to the detail which he knew the project, through Maltz's interview and so on. He obviously was really hands-on.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. And the project's really cracking along now as well. There was a period of time, as any project and any development, and in fact real estate, took a fair old battering Australia-wide when in the midst of the GFC. But we've sold somewhere between 60 and 70 allotments just since Christmas.
Wow. Fantastic.
We've now sold well over 100 allotments from the first stage of development. And probably what's really useful to keep in mind in all of this is that if you've got 2,000 allotments as may be proposed by the completion of this project, we only ever construct and release a certain portion at a time. So there's only about 20 blocks on the market at any given time and at the moment. So they're selling at a fantastic rate. And if you're half serious about getting in there, you've really got to capitalise now while the golf course is still under construction.
Because I look back at McCracken, for example, and the cheapest way to buy there was before it looked as brilliant as it has the finished product. And also, of course, as time increases and the new releases come up, prices go up.
That's right.
So you actually buy less expensively at the early levels, and there's often some discounting of the blocks at that level too to encourage people to buy. So get in early is certainly the way to make money.
Well, certainly they're probably, from a developer's bit of lingo, this is really the speculating period. This is the time to get in right now. The first 9 are being shaped this year, and they'll be playable by autumn next year. And it's a rolling development process. It's not just run the first 9, see how we go with that, and start working on the next. It's a continual process that they're working through at the moment. So,
is it the first 9 or the back 9 that is being built first?
I thought depends which way you're looking at it.
No, I thought it was the back 9, isn't it? Because the last 18th one is going to be where the clubhouse is built.
That's right.
Correct?
The 18th is the closest to the South Terrace end of Port Hughes. And that's where the clubhouse and smaller resort facilities will be created around that from word go.
Excellent.
Matt, there seems to be some homes being built, which obviously just brings the juggernaut forward and sort of moves things through.
Yeah.
As people build, is there any restrictions on the time? So I can buy, is there a restriction?
Yeah, there's a couple of years, but we want to work very closely with people who purchase in there. There's a couple of townhouses are already constructed and some more due to hit underway. The display village is now virtually all locked away. There's a couple of final builders completing their designs to come into the display village. So they're all locked in, and the commencement of construction there will start very, very shortly.
Yeah, well, as soon as that happens, more people become involved, and the thing will just go.
So there are some encumbrances and restrictions, and it's really just to protect the asset of those who do purchase. Yep. Because the last thing you want is to build some fantastic holiday home or retirement home.
Get a timber frame thing next door.
Some bozo comes in and puts a shed in. So we really want to protect that, and it's because it's part of a world-class facility as well.
I actually see that. Sorry, Brock. I see that as a huge advantage. Living in that type of environment, you know that every single property is going to be a quality property.
Absolutely.
That's good. And prices?
Prices, they're starting about the 125 mark.
Gee,
and obviously for
low
those
entry level, isn't it, Mark?
It is.
You're looking at talking about affordability before.
450 to 500 square metres for that type of one. And that's obviously in it's a little bit further away from the golf course. However, those that right on the golf course front are obviously priced higher than that.
And so they should be.
But again, you're getting in at the moment while the golf course is still due for construction, or that part of the golf course is due for construction this year. So by the time that golf course is finished, a vacant allotment on the golf course would be astronomically higher, as one would expect, and there'll be a high demand for people wanting to get hold of them.
Exactly. And Motson's quite interesting. Speaking to a few of my mates, that they're getting 2 or 3 families together and saying, okay, let's... because it's a reasonable drive to get there. It's a bit of a destination. You've got to be there for probably a few days. So you're not going to be there every weekend is what I'm getting at. And so 2 or 3 families, or even brothers and sisters and so on, are chipping in. So they're each putting in a third or whatever, and buying a block and building a home that then would be used quite regularly.
I'll go with you, Brocky. You go 90%, I'll go 10%.
Beautiful.
We'll use it 50-50.
Done deal.
Done deal.
Done deal. That's the way you normally negotiate.
Now, Matt, if this is the advert, you ready? If I want to buy down there, who do I contact? How does that work?
The easiest way is to go straight to the website, which is www.thedunesporthughes.com.au. There is an additional phone number, 1300 788 867, or as I said earlier, if you're stuck with any of those, just call us at Brock Urban Projects on 8203 1288.
Can you just give that 1300 number again, just in case?
Yes, certainly. 1300 788 867. The Sales and Information Centre is actually open 7 days a week. So it doesn't matter whether you're holidaying midweek, whether you're a retiree and you're just driving around the coast, just pop on in. We're open every day.
And you've got a fabulous salesperson down there.
David Doyle. David will help you out, no problems whatsoever.
And I reckon he's about to build himself down there, so showing absolute confidence in the product. David's going to build his own house, live down there and enjoy it. All right.
I hope you've enjoyed our segment today. If you have any further details you require, please contact us on 8203 1288 or email me mhill@brockurbanprojects.com.au.